We are at the kickoff event of Aaltoes Coded Contest, and here is Ville Miettinen, CEO of Microtask, and a serial entrepreneur. Ville, what can you say about your background?
Oh, I just spent 40 minutes talking about my background, but I'm a programmer, been coding for the last 32 years, low-level guy, C, C++, assembler, but my day job is being a CEO of a company, so I've moved over to the dark side about 10, 11 years ago. However, deep down, I'm a programmer.
Can you say that you're a former programmer or you're still a programmer?
I am still a programmer. I'm coding every single day.
So speaking a little bit about general idea of behind Microtask, what is it?
Okay, I could probably separate here the concept of Microtask and then Microtask the company. So the fundamental concept is the idea of taking large complex business processes, breaking them down into very small pieces, which we call microtasks. These tasks are distributed over the internet to people who are working on a web browser, and the tasks take only a couple of seconds to complete. So a typical task is, for example, look at this image and key in the text that you're seeing. So it takes a few seconds. They're routed back to the server, which then manages the whole process. And as a company, we're using this platform we developed, but for a very niche vertical. So we're focusing on digitization and indexing of personal records. So old church records, government records that contain names of people, addresses, birth dates, and so forth. And then we're breaking down this process into microtasks.
What do you think, how important it is to actually have a, I should say, technical or even programming background in order to become a successful and professional entrepreneur?
Well, the core things that when you're putting together a startup, you're going to need 3 roles. I mean, you're going to need a CTO. So you need the techie guy. You need someone who really understands. I'm talking about building a tech startup now. So you need a guy who really understands the technology and is most likely able to build the whole tech by himself, or at least hire people to help him build the tech. Then you're going to need a superstar CEO, someone who's charismatic, who's able to win over investors, so you're able to raise funding for the company. And then you're going to need someone who's really good at sales and marketing, so basically pushing out the technology to other people. So usually, in most cases, this means that you're going to need 3 separate people. In some rare cases, take Steve Jobs, who's a guru in marketing and being a CEO and has a strong tech background. But the normal case, you need 3 separate people. One of them has to be a top-notch programmer.
Okay, and speaking about you, how difficult it was to facilitate this transition from being a superstar coder to being a successful entrepreneur, and what skill sets should you improve in yourself to facilitate this transition?
In my case, the transition happened in a way where I started from a very technical position and then started doing things like technology evangelism and technical marketing and technical sales. So that initially there was always very strong tech focus, and most of the people I was talking to were tech-minded. They were programmers and so forth. And then slowly I started to learn some of the presentation skills, so that I felt comfortable going on stage, or I felt comfortable sitting in a meeting room with Silicon Valley venture capitalists and so forth. But it was a long process, and it's still ongoing. Been doing that now for the last 10, 11 years. Still learning something every day.
But so far so good?
So far so good.
Great. And maybe any final words to all participants of Coded contest?
I think it's a lovely contest. As I mentioned in the talk, I spent a bit of time yesterday with some of the tasks. There I was fooling around with the FizzBuzz algorithm. I think the most important thing is to have a lot of fun. I mean, these kind of contests they're awesome, and I think that I kind of referred to that a lot in my talk. Is try to approach the problem solving with this kind of an outside the box thinking, and see if you are able to somehow sidestep the whole problem altogether, or have like some kind of a high level insight into how to solve it, instead of getting really dragged down into the nitty-gritty details. I mean, you can spend hours and hours and hours optimizing a few bytes of a code. I mean, if you end up that road, but what you can gain by coming up with a more clever algorithm, I mean, you could get tenfold gains if you just sit down, do not touch the keyboard, just think about the problem.
So thanks a lot, and hope to see you at our future events.
Of course, thank you.